David Bossie joining us now. David Bossie, Deputy Campaign Manager, Trump 2016, also runs one of the biggest organizations out of Washington, D.C. Conservative fighter, also produced a film on the Steal that we all saw. And he's joining us now. David, great to have you with us. Thank you for joining us today. I know we're short on time. I got 10 minutes. I want to get right to this Mar-a-Lago raid. Now they're saying there's an FBI informant. No one knows who that is. Another one. Then they said there was something in the safe. Safe is empty. They're going on a fishing expedition. 30 jackboot FBI agents descend on Mar-a-Lago in riot gear. 9 hours. That's 270 man-hours. No one knows why. FBI has said nothing. David, where are we here?
Well, first of all, good morning, John. Thanks for having me back. As President Trump said, I think yesterday, we're in a dark period. We are in a dark period in America. This is something that's never been done in 240 years in America. It's just outrageous conduct by a politicized Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Investigation. And for anyone to think that Merrick Garland didn't have to approve this raid on a former president's home in this political atmosphere is kidding themselves. So we have to get, why is it that the Democrat leadership in the House and Senate aren't subpoenaing Merrick Garland and Christopher Wray to come to the House and Senate and answer the questions under oath to find out exactly who did what, who ordered the raid, who was involved. Did the President of the United States, did Joe Biden approve it? Because in my opinion, in my history, in my experience, this would have been a raid that would have been approved by White House counsel and therefore Joe Biden.
Well, it had to be approved by Biden or Obama, who's probably running the White House through Valerie. Come on, David. He lives in what president stays in Washington? He's in D.C. He's got Valerie Jarrett is still there working for him full time. He's got Susan Rice. He got Ron Klain. Right? Obama's in there running the show. We know that. But the bottom line is they're using the FBI. They're weaponizing it against, and forget the fact that Trump's a former president. He's their main opposition.
No question.
Right?
John, look, everybody with a pulse in America knows that Donald Trump is going to be the presumptive nominee in 2024. This is an exercise. This is the only way, and this is just, John, I think you may agree with this, but this is the only way the Democrats can defeat Donald Trump is not at the ballot box, but it's trying to disqualify him from being on the ballot. They know the movement that President Trump leads. They know he got 75 million votes in 2020. They know that this movement is stronger today than it has ever been. And that is why they are so scared of him. And so these are the types of things that are done in third world dictatorships, banana republics. This is not done in America, where you politicize law enforcement to go after your political enemies. That's where we are right now today. And until Christopher Wray and Merrick Garland come forward and answer questions the American people deserve answers on, we're not going to know. And let me just say this. I believe that the Democrats are colluding. They don't want to bring, the leadership in the House and Senate, the Democrats, they don't want to do this. They're not interested in bringing forward. They don't want to talk about, they don't want to be on the defensive on these issues. And in my opinion, Republican leaders had better get a hold of themselves and demand answers today to build the predicate for which they impeach Merrick Garland and Christopher Wray if necessary. By the way, that's if they don't resign in the next 6 months. But in January, impeachment proceedings must be underway.
So no press conference, nothing from McConnell other than a tepid statement. McCarthy put one tweet out, then went silent. Tim Scott, friend of ours, got on the other day and said, well, let's wait till it all plays out. Okay, well, that's like, Rhino Land, Uniparty. So where's the leadership, Dave?
Well, we've seen none, and it's fully, unfortunately, fully expected. It's disappointing. President Trump's been under siege for 6+ years now, John. Since the day he came down the golden escalator, he has been under siege by these very people, and they despise him. They hate him. They do not want him to succeed, and that's why he had such trouble in the first administration, because he didn't come in there and fire everybody. He didn't come in there and clean house. So we had the deep state working against us every single day, and now you hear the FBI has an unnamed source. Yeah, maybe maybe they do, maybe they don't. John, who could trust what they say now?
All right, I've only got a couple minutes, Dave Bossie. When should Trump announce?
Well, I'm a believer fundamentally. John, if we could just remove Donald Trump from the equation just for a moment. Shorter campaigns are better campaigns. Okay, so that's because you can, death by 1,000 cuts, as the old saying goes. So when you have a long campaign, there's a longer opportunity for more time for you to make errors and screw up. That's just for any candidate anywhere running for any office. So number one. Number two is the campaign finance issues become very, very real when you cross the Rubicon and become a candidate. And so you can only spend maxed out contributions one time. So when you have a longer campaign, you need to raise a lot more money. And President Trump has no problem raising money, but that was in a good economy. Today we have a very, very difficult economy where people are uncertain of the future. So we don't know what donations are going to be in the next 18 months. And that's really those are big building block questions that you have to go for. So I'm a believer, without all of this drama, that the president should announce, obviously if he's going to announce, he should announce sometime in January. But with all of this, he's really got to think about going sooner. He's a presumptive candidate. They're doing these things, John. The idea that if he became a candidate tomorrow, there's some, Rubicon that he crosses and therefore they don't do anything. That's a joke.
It'll actually
right?
get worse.
You agree with it? Yeah, it'll be worse. And these people, they're out to destroy him, and they're never going to stop. And the only way to fight back is to win. And we must win, and we must get a check and balance back over this out-of-control police state that we're living in.
All right, I got 2 more minutes because you got to roll. So I got 2 quick questions. Dave Bossie, how many seats can we win in the House? Honestly,
I think the days of the 94 and 2010 waves are behind us because of redistricting. See, people have to keep in mind that redistricting has changed the way we can do things. So I think we're looking at the 30 to 40, as a big number, because there just aren't that many seats to win. However, we only need to win 5. I don't give, to be honest, John, I don't care if we win 10, 12. I mean, I want to win as many as humanly possible, obviously.
Right.
That goes without saying. But I mean, if we have a net pickup of 15 seats and we go from down 5 to plus 15, we're in the majority and we're happy.
All right, final question, Dave. I'm going to put you on the spot, all right, because we go back a long time. I was chairman of the Trump campaign in Virginia 2016 and 2020. In 2016, you were deputy campaign manager. The trains ran on time. You kicked ass. You won. You and Kellyanne did a phenomenal job, but you were the go-to guy. You were running the nuts and bolts, day-to-day operation. I dealt with you on a daily basis. It was a phenomenal campaign. 2020, it was the clown show. You know it, and I know it, right? And he's got the same people around him now running around Mar-a-Lago, getting $10, $15, $20,000 a month to do nothing again but run the campaign in the ditch, raise $1.2 billion, run out of money, have no lawyers, have no plan. They were hiring ambulance chasers when they needed election attorneys because they were broke. They had to pull ads from Wisconsin, Arizona, Atlanta. Dave, this is all, you can't make this stuff up, Dave. Are you going back, if Trump runs, am I going to see Dave Bossie as campaign manager again?
Well, there's only one person who can make that determination, and that's President Trump. Look, I'm a guy, and you know this, John.
If he asks you, would you do it?
Well, if he asked me to serve in some capacity, I'm going to talk to my family and probably do it. But that is
you need
something
to be the campaign manager.
Well, you never know.
You need to run a campaign, Dave.
Yeah, well, I appreciate.
In fact, you should have been. To be candid, you should have been chief of staff. You should have been chief of staff from day one. And remember, I was 100% behind that, promoting it every day. You should. If you were chief of staff, none of this happens, Dave. I mean, that's
John,
just.
you need to be my.
We gotta be honest.
John, you need to be my publicity agent. You're my best guy out there. So thank you so much for the kind words.
Well, I was in that campaign. I know the difference between 16 and 20 because I had the same position both times. So I saw with my own eyes. And if you were chief of staff, none of this would have happened from day one.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Well, look, I appreciate that. The president was under duress from the first day of the transition, as you well know, and so he never had a chance. They descended upon him. Remember James Comey's famous dossier meeting with the president-elect was like on December 8th or something. I don't remember the exact date anymore. But I mean, think about that. 1 month after he's elected, right, and he's the president-elect. This is the thing that he has to deal with. So he's been under duress from the beginning, and he does. You're right. He does. He needs good people who have his best interest and America's best interest at heart, and that's what we do. Without our own agendas, somebody who's going to go in there and work hard for him and for the American people. And, we got to get him elected. If he chooses to run, that's our first job, and then we'll worry about the next steps after that, right?
Yeah, Dave Bossie for campaign manager so we can actually win. Dave, thanks for being with us. I know you got to roll. Thank you.
Hey,
People want to follow you on.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, because you're the guy, right? And during the 16 campaign, you only hollered at me once. That's pretty good, Dave Bossie. You only fussed at me once. I thought that was good, Dave.
Well, compared to most people, that's fantastic.
That's my point. You only fussed at me one time. A lot of other people times that by something a lot.
Oh yes, a lot.
I only got Dave Bossie call me up and fussing at me one time. I was pretty proud of that, Dave.
I remember that vividly. Thank you very much.
I know you do. Dave Bossie yelling at John Fredericks, but only once. And actually, you didn't yell. You just were stern and succinct. Let me put it that way. There was no question in what you wanted me to do. That was clear. It was clear.
Yeah, it was. No, it was.
And I did exactly what you said, and I had no pushback. I
remember.
Yes, sir.
All right, John. Thank you, buddy.
Dave. We got to roll.